Oh my goodness, the hiccups are severe. Hello, hello. Oh, hello. Hi, Tina. Hello, hello, everyone. Where's my notebook? I'm gonna go grab my notebook really quickly. It has a panda on it. Good morning, good morning. Hi, cutie. Hi, everyone. Today, we are doing flash readings. We are doing flash readings by donation. Leah. Welcome, welcome. If you are interested in receiving a reading, you can find the links to send a donation on my IG bio. It's at the very top, makes it easy. And then I just ask that when you're ready to receive your reading, you drop it in the little question box right here below. It's easier for me to keep track of than comments. Let's move this here. Actually, I'm gonna pin that as a comment. Adriana, hi. Okay. Readings by donation. Link in bio for payment. Drop your Q in the question box. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna pin this. Good morning, good morning. So, we're going to begin the way we always do, by me inviting you to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put my headphones in because I've come to realize that I really like the soundproof headphones situation. It's much easier. Hi, Pooja. Let's see. I've been very anti-earbud. I haven't wanted it. Nothing about it was appealing to me. And then my partner gifted me some earbuds. And now I get it. I love them. They're amazing. Especially like when my kids are home and they're like running around screaming and playing, but I'm trying to work. It makes it a lot easier. Aha, okay, we're back. I'm all plugged in. I feel like a robot. All right, everyone. So if you're here joining us now, I invite you to relax into your seats. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And together, let's take 3 big deep breaths in through our noses and out through our mouths. Good. Keep taking those big deep breaths as we call in the spirits. From the East, who connects us to our mental acuity, I call upon the element of air and the good medicine, blessings, and protection that come from the East. Welcome. We ask that you assist us in facilitating a good and strong container for truth, clarity, wisdom, and protection today. Welcome good medicine that comes from the East. From the South, who connects us to our passion, creativity, sensuality, and sexuality. I call upon the element of fire and the good medicine, blessings, and protection that come from the South. Welcome. We ask that you assist us in facilitating a good and strong container for truth, clarity, wisdom, and protection today. Welcome good medicine that comes from the South. From the West, who connects us to our emotions, the dream world, the dead, and fluidity. I call upon the element of water and the good medicine, blessings, and protection that come from the West. Welcome. We ask that you assist us in facilitating a good and strong container for truth, clarity, wisdom, and protection today. Welcome good medicine that comes from the West. From the North, who connects us to our physicality, the material world, resources, and cultivation. We call upon the element of earth and the good medicine, blessings, and protection that come from the North. Welcome. We ask that you assist us in facilitating a good and strong container for truth, clarity, wisdom, and protection today. Welcome good medicine that comes from the North. From above, we draw down the golden light of Creator, down from the heavens, into our crowns, moving down through our bodies, plunging into the soil, connecting deep into the center of this good earth. We welcome this golden light as it neutralizes all that does not serve us in this moment. We thank you, Creator, for your great dreaming and for our lives. From below, we draw up the silvery center of this good earth, up through the soil, into our bodies, moving up through our crowns, stretching high into the heavens. We welcome this silver light as it neutralizes all that does not serve us in this moment. We thank you, great above and great below. From the center, we rest our hands on our hearts. We breathe deeply into our bellies. And we listen to the seventh direction within us. We thank ourselves for rising this morning, for meeting this day, its challenges, and its blessings. Benevolent spirits of the cosmos, our Father Sun, our Grandmother Moon, our good Mother Earth, ascended ancestors, wise and well, good spirits, guardians, gods and guides who surround, support, and uplift each and every one of us gathered here today. We thank you for being with us now. Busy. We thank you for your blessings and your protections now and always. We thank you for your wisdom, guidance, and truth through both the shadows and the light. We thank you, Creator and Creatrix, for this moment. And we thank all the versions of ourselves, past, present, future, and beyond, for aligning here now. May our hearts be open, and may we be ever present to receive. Ooh. Busy room. Hello to everyone just joining us. Welcome, welcome. We're doing Flash Friday readings by donation. You can find the links to send a donation in my bio if you would like a reading today. So last time I went in order of donation, but I think today I'm going to go by the question box and try to do my best to match everybody up. What's in my hair? What is in my hair? It's gone. Y'all, the other day I was sitting here doing my makeup and I saw something kind of move on the screen. I was like, it must be an ant. It's ant season. And so I flick it off and there's nothing there. And I was like, okay, I must be out of my mind. And that's fine too. So I go back to mascara. And I notice something moving again when I look in the screen because I use my phone as my mirror. And I look closer and there's a spider crawling through my girls. I lost my mind. I was shaking it out everywhere. My hair looked amazing after because I shook it so hard, but it was... Oh, my ring is stuck in my veil. It was scary. Where did it come from? How long had it been sitting in my hair? Terrifying. Okay. Let's start with Leah. Dun, dun, dun. A general reading for Leah today. Is this the right deck? Yes. Big shuffle. Cut the deck. Yes. Leah, one of your guardian spirits is coming forward. One of your protectors. And to their left is what I would call an angelic spirit. I also keep hearing, and TBH, it feels a lot of this is not directly related to the cards that I pulled for you, that I'll probably get into in a moment if your spirits tell me it's okay. This particular protector spirit, do you want me to talk about you? Yes. Okay, this particular protector spirit has like chainmail, and has a sword. It feels like got it. They want to encourage you to be mindful of your protection wards, specifically around like the work that you do, like the way you gain access to dollars, money, resource. And it's not like a fear-mongering energy, like you're not in danger by any means, but it does feel like there's some, I don't know, there's like a little bit of trifling. There's a little bit of trifling around your business, and your good spirits just want to make sure that you and yours are not affected by whatever mess seems to be getting stirred up in the background. Ooh, my tummy. This angelic spirit is identifying themselves as Uriel. Archangel Uriel. And I believe it would be helpful for you to do a little bit of research around this spirit, or honestly just start talking to them. I feel like for you, it's more affirming of your mediumship gifts when you talk to the spirit first and then later do a little bit of like book style research about them to confirm the things that you are channeling. I feel like that's an important part of the process, is that you're channeling first and then looking at textbook information, research book information to like prove yourself right. You already know you're right, but it's helping to exercise your mediumship and psychic abilities. Yes. Okay, cool. May I open my eyes and look at the cards? Yes. Okay, so I'm looking down at the cards, and we have the Six of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Emperor. What they're telling me is, it seems to be we are transitioning from a season of uncertainty and almost like a little bit of like shame sometimes, which is a normal human emotion. Although it feels like you don't really have anything to be shameful about, but it doesn't stop the feelings from coming, you know? But it does seem as though we are transitioning from this season of feeling like we need more help than we should have to ask for. And it does seem as though your good spirits are helping you to make choices to bring that season to a close, and instead transition into a season where you feel confident, capable and resourced enough to start making some big plans. And I kind of feel like you've had some of these big plans on the back burner for a while. Things like that are vision board style. I wish I could do this one day. I don't know if I'll ever be able to, but it does seem as though these next 6 months in particular are you making the shift into that time where you are able to feel confident booking flights or signing contracts or solidifying plans with not only yourself, it feels like with others as well. I keep seeing like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And something else I keep hearing, and like, I don't actually know very much about this saint other than their name is familiar, but I keep hearing like Thomas Aquinas. So I would do a little researchy about Thomas as well. Yes. Okay. Is there anything else? That's it. Okay. Well, now I have to know. St. Thomas Aquinas, Italian priest. Sicilian. What's his thing? Eucharistic hymns. A doctor of the church. Interesting. I don't know. There's something there for you to discover. Wasn't there like a high school? Thomas Aquinas High School. Thank you, Leah. Okay. I'm gonna do my best to keep track of everyone and try to get to you in order that your questions are coming through. I did recently sign up for a new platform because God knows we need another app on our phones. But it's supposed to streamline all of this. I won't be able to go live from IG anymore, I don't think. I would be going live through that app, but it would also be much easier to get through everybody's questions and not miss people. So stay tuned. We're going to test that out next month and see how it goes. Okay. And just a reminder, if you're just joining us and you would like a reading, you can find the donation links in my bio. You can send over, pay what you can, and then drop your question in the box below. All right. Got it. Kiki, okay. I see you, Kiki. There we go. General reading this week has been intense. You got it. Okay. We're sticking to tarot today. Cut the deck. Okay. Okay, Kiki, my dear. God, like everybody's spirits want to talk today. Do you want me to share or do you want me to pull the cards? Read the cards. Read the cards. Okay. Kiki, you have like a guide here today. My name starts with a B. Their name starts with a B. They're a little bit ominous, but I can tell they're sincere and supportive. But it wouldn't surprise me if like you've seen or experienced this spirit before and you're like, oh, like, I don't know about that. Like, you're a little bit intimidating, but really they love you, and not in an unhealthy way, in a very supportive and helpful way. Get to the cards. Okay. So I'm definitely seeing your good spirit's desire to remind you that it is not only okay to need help in the things that you are trying to not just accomplish, but like do. I feel like accomplish we associate with like, you know, I feel really good and successful about what I just did. Like sometimes we need to just get shit done. And sometimes we simply do not have the capacity to do so. And I'm definitely seeing that here in the Hanged One, where we feel kind of stuck, unable to follow through on tasks, that sometimes like unable to even see what tasks are immediately in front of us. There's a lot of fog resting right here, but especially on this part of your head. And I do feel that a good spiritual head wash would be very, very supportive for you. It feels like mint and oregano in particular. You stick them in a small pot that you only use for spiritual purposes, fill it with water, bring it to a boil, let it steep, and cool down entirely. You need to be able to put your finger down to the bottom of the pot, knowing that it's cold enough to do that. Then you'll take it with you into the shower, shampoo regularly, and then grab that pot and just dump it right over your head, massage it into your scalp, massage, 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 concentrating on this area behind your ears, and again, concentrating up here. You can go ahead and condition and then get out of the shower, do your thing. But I feel like that would be really helpful if you don't have access to those things. A good cold shower, face first, and then over the rest of your head will also be helpful as well. And you can still do those same motions of pulling away the fog, pulling away the fog. With that said, while pulling away the fog spiritually is going to help give you a little bit more energy, it does seem as though you are currently in a position where you're being invited to ask for the support that you need. And asking for help can sometimes feel uncomfortable because we're like, oh, I should be able to do this on my own. But sometimes you can't. And that's okay. That's pretty human if you ask me. And if you aren't certain who to ask for support from, begin first with the spirits who rest on your altar, because what they cannot do themselves, they will help guide you in the right direction of people who can offer you the support that you need in order to get through whatever this like indecision or overwhelm of decision is. It does feel like as you start spiritually lifting the fog and like practicing asking for help, practicing advocating for yourself at the altar and with other people, you're going to have a little bit more, not just clarity, but confidence in your ability to create whatever it is you are trying to build, to create the life of your dreams, because following this is the Magician. And the Magician reminds us that we already have all of the tools and the ingredients at our table to bring what we desire into reality. And though the Magician is often pictured alone, we do not always get to that point of being the Magician by ourselves. And in this season of your life, that's the biggest lesson that it feels you are being called to explore and understand, is that you can't do it all alone. And that despite however it feels in this moment, there are people and spirits around you who desire to be of support to you if only you give them the opportunity to show up. Remember that your spirits desire your enthusiastic consent. There are certain things that they'll try to do in the background on their own here and there, but the spirits of our court desire our enthusiastic consent. They respect our autonomy. So a lot of the times, like, they'll just sit there waiting for you to tell them, like, please help me with this. Please help me with this. And it does feel like your spirits are kind of like, what is it that you want us to do? What is it that you want us to do? So don't be afraid to go to the altar with your petitions, and also like be kind to yourself, which easier said than done. That is a practice, not something we just do overnight. Like, okay, be kind to myself, no problem, done. That's a practice. It's a skill that we cultivate over time. But I feel like, I'm getting the vibe of like, oh, I can't ask them for help with this. That's not important enough. I can't ask them for help with this. That's not important enough. And that's not true. Like, if what it is give me the capacity to get out of bed and brush my teeth every day, please, good spirits, that is okay. That is important enough because it's important for you. And that's something else that they'd like you to keep in mind. Like, reserve judgment over yourself for the things that you are in need of support of. No one around you who loves you is saying that the things that you need help with aren't good enough. And your spirits want to continue to like reaffirm this for you. I feel like a pat on your shoulder and they're like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Thank you, Kiki. Okay, let's see who's next. And y'all, if you're just joining us, please do me a favor and drop your questions in the question box below, because I can't keep track of the comments. I'm not very good at that. Okay. Let's see. It would be cool if Instagram didn't mix up the order of the submissions. All right. Carolina. I've completed another trip around the sun. Happy birthday. What do my spirits want me to focus on this year? Feeling older? Well, you are. And kind of don't know what the hell I'm doing. Nobody does. And that's okay. We are all making it up as we go along, I assume. Cut the deck or shuffle? Cut. Are these the right cards? Yes. Okay. What? Where do they want me to start? Here. Okay. So, what your spirits are calling you to lean into in this new cycle around the sun, Carolina, is the Six of Pentacles. And they're asking you to consider the ways you can become more involved with your community. Whether that community is the family that you are creating, the environment where this family lives. It does feel like part A to this is building intentional relationships with the spirits of the land where you live. It feels like you and your partner have some big dreams. Some big dreams that aren't impossible, but they become more and more probable, accessible when you begin building right relationship with the spirits of the land where you currently live. It does feel like the land has welcomed you there. And now that I'm thinking of like all the lore leading up to this moment for you, that does make sense. But now is the time to pour back in. This place has gifted you so much. How do you return the favor? Whether it's through ritual or showing up for your community, your neighborhood. Honestly, I think it's a combination of the two. Spirit wants you to start considering, how do you pour back into the place that has supported you so well? What your spirits are asking you to lean out of in this year around the sun is the Emperor. And they're like, you don't need to have it all figured out. You do not need to have it all figured out. Your good spirits are like, we have blessed you with a supportive partner who's going to make sure y'all are always okay. And so they want you to give yourself a little bit of grace about like knowing what the future is, having a 5-year plan. Like, just enjoy right now. Enjoy right now. Enjoy one another, and let that be enough for now. Because the future isn't going to suddenly become clear to you in one moment. It's going to slowly reveal itself over time as you embrace the present. Ooh, somebody write that down. When I look at the advice the spirits have for you, it's the 10 of Swords, and it does feel like I'm hearing like snakes in the grass. It feels like there are a couple people around you, 1 or 2, who are just like not that supportive. And TBH, I don't think you're going to have to spend much time like thinking about who are they, weed them out, find them. No, I think they're going to reveal themselves to you. And remember that like it's okay to feel disappointed, to feel grief once you see these folks for who they are. I don't think they've always... That's not true. Okay. It does seem like there's a little bit of jealousy involved, and that's a them problem, not a you problem, according to your spirits. It doesn't feel like there have been transgressions against them. It just feels like they're going through their own stuff internally and kind of projecting that onto you rather than dealing with it within themselves. And like, that's okay. We're all on our own journeys and timelines, but when they show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. And it does feel like this is probably going to come to a head right around spring. You might start getting some inclinations about it, given that we are in eclipse season, but it does feel like it comes to a head officially in the spring. And when folks show you who they are, believe them. You know, like I do think that there's always space to consider repair and reconciliation of relationships, but it's dependent on them being able to see what's going on within themselves with clarity and having a desire to change it so that y'all can nurture and nurse the kind of mend, I should say, the broken relationship. Your guides are like, it's going to be okay. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have strength. And it feels like this next year is really about like the strength of your warmth, the strength of your sweetness, the strength of embracing the present, the moment, appreciating what's in front of you right now. I think what's interesting about the strength card in this deck is that, first of all, there's a snake in the grass, but also like the world is on fire a little bit behind them, but they're also appreciating the beauty that is immediately in front of them and right here. And it's like, look, this life is a challenge. This world feels like it's on fire, and in many places it quite literally is on fire. And it's really easy to lose hope for the future and to give up on what's the point of any of this. But our insistence on appreciating what we do have that is good, and our insistence in having hope for what can be, is what fuels us to take chances and to make choices that align with cultivating a better world together. We have to believe it is possible for this world to be different in order to bring it about in reality. And if we give up to nihilism and despair, what's the point? We have to allow ourselves to dream. We have to allow ourselves to experience joy and to celebrate, despite the horrors all around, to allow ourselves to grieve and to be angry. But we can't let those things take away from what does bring us joy, what does bring us tenderness, what does bring us hope. Okay? Thank you, Carolina. Okay, who's next? Try my best to do these in order, friends. All right, Charlotte. And y'all, speaking of Charlotte, Charlotte is an incredible environmental activist. Charlotte is the founder of Get Free with Charlotte. Charlotte is also an intimacy coordinator. Charlotte is magical, and Charlotte's teaching a class in Moonshadows next week on I can't remember the name of our class. I'm the worst, but like sacred sex and intimacy rituals, and it's going to be really lovely, and I feel so lucky. And if you want to attend, the doors to Moonshadows are open until midnight tonight. So, my love life is going well for the first time in my life. I'm so happy and grateful, but also terrified. I've been praying and petitioning for a decade and scared I'm going to mess it up somehow. Any advice my spirits have for me? Conscious sex rituals. Thank you. Conscious sex rituals. It's going to be amazing. Put these down. Grab these. They're showing me lots of things. This will make me cry. Okay. First things first. Having trust in what's in front of us, having trust in, and I don't even mean like our relationship with having trust in the other person, but like having trust that we are worthy of experiencing the type of romantic life and love that we desire is not a destination, but it is a journey. It is a skill that we must exercise and strengthen. And it also, like joy, like fear, like excitement, like anger, is not present 1000% of the time. It ebbs and it flows, and that's okay. It's normal. Something that your spirits are encouraged, they're like, you already have what you've been praying for. Now pray for the trust in yourself to enjoy it. Pray for the trust in yourself to enjoy it for what this is. Pray for the release of expectation and the capacity to enjoy what you have right now. No one knows what the future holds. And we can tie ourselves very easily to all the what ifs. But what if instead you tie yourself to what you have in front of you right now. And the promise to yourself, that I will enjoy what I have for as long as it's in front of me. This is the affirmation. This is the affirmation. This is the prayer. This is the prayer. I will enjoy what I have, what I have prayed for, as long as it's in front of me. Be it a year or a lifetime. I am in gratitude for this experience right here, right now. This is the affirmation, the prayer. Your good spirits are encouraging you to take as often as needed. And with affirmations, it's not something that we say once and then we believe it. With affirmations, we take them the same way as we would take an herbal remedy or a skincare, a skincare regimen. We have to do it more than once a day. And maybe at first we're doing it 2 or 3 times a day. Whenever those intrusive thoughts start creeping in of what if, it's me, like when all that stuff starts coming up, that's when you take your remedy and repeat your affirmation. So at least once a day, but I would do like 3 times a day for the first 3 weeks. And after that, once a day. And then you get to the point where you don't really need to say it anymore because it's just true. It's just what is. And excuse me. I keep hearing like you deserve this gift. And then I hear ancestors say, where's our gift? They want something sweet. They would like some sort of pastry, dessert, like something sweet, not too sweet. Almost takes like I feel like the texture of a paste, some sort of paste in pastry. They're like, that's our gift in exchange. I also feel like there's something here about I can't have this without owing someone something. And so your spirits are like, sure, like bring us a tasty treat and then the debt's paid. But also I feel like there's something there worth unearthing and exploring further once you're ready. I can't have this because then I'll owe someone something. They're like, you don't owe us anything. And I don't know. I feel like there's something here worth unpacking and digging a little deeper into when you're ready. It doesn't feel urgent. It's when you're ready. That's it. Okay. Drink water. Okay. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm happy for you. Okay, hi everyone who's just joining. If you're interested in receiving a reading, you can drop a donation, Venmo preferred, but PayPal is fine too. Pooja knows Charlotte? What a small world. I love this. Okay. You can drop a donation on the Venmos, and then you can put your question in the question box for me because it's the only way I can keep track. Actually, I'm going to take a quick screenshot of all the questions because sometimes they just fucking disappear. And that's not cool, man. Just in case. Okay, I'm going to get to Paulina really quickly because I feel like you've been waiting a while. Okay. Paulina. Let me just mark you off here, trying to keep track. I'm really excited next month, y'all, to try this new platform for these types of readings, even though it's annoying to like have more than one app on your phone. But I think it'll make all of this so much easier. So let's see. Would like to know who my guides are and if they need me to know anything. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. We have 3 guides who have stepped forward. One of them is coming to the front. They're okay. They don't want me to talk about them in a public forum. May I introduce one of the other guides? Yes. Okay. Your main guide, though, they're the one who, they're like, I'm just for you, Paulina. Like, they don't want everybody to know who they are, which is fine. You do have two other guides here. Okay. One of them is coming forward and would like to introduce herself. Her name is, I feel like I'm hearing Araceli. It starts with an A. She wears kind of like fanciful dress is the best way I can describe it. Fanciful. Almost like from an alternate timeline. Like, this doesn't really align with any with any styles over the centuries. It's kind of reminding me of what's that weird movie that came out last year with the girl from Easy A and Mark Ruffalo. Like that. Like steampunk, eclectic, sort of Victorian, sort of not, but the colors are too wild for it to make sense for that time, but more like turn of the century, I don't know, wild. Fanciful is the best way I can describe Araceli's outfit. Yes. I don't think she's from this timeline. She is from Earth. Oh, this is fucking fun. She is from Earth, but from like alternate Earth. She's showing me how time moves from one point in many different directions. She's like, it's quite fascinating once you really start to dig into it. So at first, it hurts your head. She's an explorer. She is interested in seeing the world, meeting people, eating food, making connections. She's deeply passionate about it, knowing the world. Not conquering it, not claiming it, but being a guest in every corner that she possibly can. I think that's why her garments are kind of wild, because like she takes a little bit from here and she brings home a little bit from there and kind of like puts it together into this like funky like sky explorer vibe. Yes. Her hair's a little like lopsided and funny. She's like, she's here to help you loosen up a little bit. She's here to help you loosen up a little bit and have some fun. We're supposed to have fun. I think it can be really easy with the demands of our responsibilities and having to like eat food and pay rent and pay our car note and if we're lucky have health insurance, on top of our internal like personal struggles, on top of our interpersonal struggles with our relationships, on top of societal and global struggles. It can be hard to find those moments of joy. There can also be some guilt around experiencing moments of joy, but as I was saying earlier, like our joy is necessary for our resistance. Our joy is necessary for bringing about a world that we all feel really confident and proud of handing over to the next generation. And she's here to help you like cultivate those moments. It does seem like she's also here to help you get more in touch with your creative side. It feels like there's been a little bit of like stagnation around your mistrust, I think is the word, around your creativity. And she's here to help you explore and experiment more in creative spaces. She like pinches your cheeks kind of lovingly, kind of jokingly, and says, ask for me soon. Okay. Fun. I love her. Poor Things, that's what it was called. All right. Who's next? Okay, let's do Adriana, because I feel like you've been waiting for a while. It would be so cool if the messages stayed in order. All right, let me mark you off my list here. Okay. Hi, this week was a huge turning point for me creatively, yay, and I'm curious if there are any creative spirits supporting me right now or wishing to. An idea came up just yesterday that I feel very strongly about. What do they see? Is this worth pursuing? I'm nervous, LOL. And they're like, you wouldn't have thought of it if it wasn't worth pursuing. You wouldn't have thought of it if it wasn't worth pursuing. And they want me to remind you how so many of the incredible things that you've birthed have come through taking a risk. So many of the incredible things that have come to life and that you've shared with the world only existed because you were willing to take a chance on something that in the moment might have felt like crazy. And then all of a sudden you see like others not only understand and desire to witness you, but they feel witnessed as well by what it is that you've brought to the table, that you've brought to the world. So the second part of your question, like, yes, like it's okay to be nervous, because I think nervousness, excitement, all live in the same place. And in those moments where you start to feel, it feels like your nervousness kind of rests, I don't know, like in your tummy, it rests in your tummy. When you start feeling it acting up, maybe have a snack, because it's my mission to make sure everybody's eating enough. Have a little snacky, and also say like, I'm so excited. Even if it's kind of like you're gaslighting yourself at first, you know, when you start to feel those nerves come, I am so excited about this project. I'm so excited about this idea. You know, we fake it until we make it. We do what we got to do to calm our nervous system long enough so that we are able to lean into our creative pursuits and offer our art to the world around us. There are a couple spirits who seem to be, they're like, one of them is like whispering things into your ear, and the other one is like there, like a cartoon fanning the flame of your creativity. They're really pretty, and like hyper femme, a little bit mischievous. But not the kind of spirits that will get you into bad trouble. The kind of spirits who will get you into good trouble. And it makes sense that they are here in regard to you taking some creative risks and trying some new things. They're kind of like giggling. I feel like they're sisters. May I ask your names? Something with an M. One of their names sounds like Moria. And the other sister's name starts with an N. I'm getting Natasha, but I almost feel like I'm wrong. I feel like I'm getting names through translation, and so that's what they're offering to me. So I would do a little investigation while you talk to them. You could start with those names, at least to reach out to them directly. But I would do a little bit of investigation with them for more clarification on names. But they seem really fun and a little mischievous in the best way. And I think together y'all are going to make a really great team. Oh, you like my nails? Thank you. Right? Good Trouble. We love Good Trouble. Okay, I feel like Iris, have I gotten to Iris yet? I don't see a question for you, Iris. Okay. My earbud fell out. Let's see, who else has been hanging out? Oh, shoot. Just refresh the page. Hate that for me. Who else has been here a while? I want to try to get through y'all. Art by Jev. Let's do this. Okay. Oh! Thank you, Iris. That was kind. Thank you. Which guide is helping me with my coursework project? Do they have any advice for it? I'm getting like an older brother type of spirit. This isn't like spirit parent. This isn't like cool aunt. This is like cool older brother. Smart older brother. Kind of like a Page of Swords. Yeah, like a Page of Swords is the vibe that I'm getting from this person. Youthful. Very youthful. It's interesting, you know, everybody just about has a child spirit on their spiritual court. But I don't know that I've encountered like a teenager child spirit before. But that's the vibe that I'm getting from this particular spirit. Their name? His name? Okay, his name is Aiden. Yes, okay. And he wants you to not be afraid to like throw things away. He's talking about how like you become super and like this is no shade, no judgment. We all have our process, but he's worried that sometimes you get a little bit too attached to certain parts of your, I don't know, homework. I don't know. I dropped out of college, friend. Your coursework, I should say. You'll get attached to certain parts of it, and he's like, you don't even like that anymore. He's like, you're not even that into that part anymore, and he doesn't want you to be afraid to like edit, to like chop things out, to start over again, to throw things away entirely and start from the beginning, or to cut certain parts out and try again. He says that you get nervous to do that because you've invested so much time in certain things, but also it feels like there's something really helpful about this exercise for you to like access what it is you're truly trying to accomplish or communicate. If it makes you nervous to throw things away entirely, save it as a new draft. Put it away in a cupboard or a file cabinet and then try again, so that you aren't feeling like, oh my God, but if it's gone forever, like I'm gonna be unwell. That's okay. Like put it away somewhere and start on a fresh piece of paper, or, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to feel more comfortable with the idea of like scrapping something entirely and starting again. Because I do feel like there's this nugget of like goodness and alignment, is like, that's what I was trying to get at. That kind of moment when you allow yourself the opportunity to just be like, fuck this, I'm doing it again. He's like, we got this. And I see him like slapping you on the shoulder. He's like, I'm going to help you be brave. I'm going to help you be brave. I'm going to help you be brave. He says it over and over again. That's nice. Okay, let's see. Okay, Pooja, where'd you go? Pooja, what can I do to connect deeper with my good spirits and guides? You got it. Cut the deck. Did I do it right? Yes, okay. Okay, a few things. So the first is it feels like your good spirits would like some sort of liquid libation type of offering. If you're not, I don't feel like it's alcohol though. I don't. I feel like it's tea. To sit with you for tea. And I heard like we'd really like to sit with you for tea. We'd really like to sit with you for tea. And I invite you to consider, like, just for now, to get started, like once a week, intentionally making tea time with your good spirits, sitting with them, pouring a glass for yourself and for them, and sitting not just in conversation where you're the one like talking and asking questions, but in good receptive listening, because it does seem like, I think this is interesting because you make music, so obviously you have a good ear, right? But I also think that your psychic ear, your clairaudience is looking to be expanded and exercised. EXE, not X or sized. It's looking to be exercised and strengthened. And I believe there's something really mystic about you sitting in sacred ceremony, in familial ceremony with your good spirits, sharing a cup of tea together and just listening, receiving. I feel like they speak to you a lot in sound, which also makes sense for you. And it's almost like this language that y'all are creating together, like different tones have different meanings, different sounds have different meanings, and I feel like it'd be really fun. Bitch. Okay, I feel like this is really fucking cool because it's like you start sitting with your spirits and you start noticing this feeling that you tie to certain sounds that they bring to you. And it kind of, as you write these things down or document them however you feel like you should document them, you start to notice these like patterns and you start to see how there's this language that y'all share with one another. And then what if you take that language of sound and you use it, you commune with it to like make music too. I don't know. There's something really magical here, and I invite your spirits invite you to really like start exploring this. And I think that's why they want to meet with you at least once a week, quietly meet you once a week, because we want to turn the outside sounds off so that you can open up that inner ear to receiving what it is that they're offering to you. If you really want to strengthen this, if you really want to get into it, the same way like you've developed all of your other skills, there needs to be commitment and consistency. So you might find that more than once a week is awesome for you. Cool. Love that. Your spirits adore that. But at least once a week showing up to listen and receive and take note is going to be really helpful. I do feel like your living space could use they're saying like a light cleanse. And by that I mean visualizations of light over your space, over your home. Light pouring in, light filling the rooms, light stretching up the walls, flooding the floors, through the windows, spreading, growing, cleaning, clearing. Also, like, as you're sitting there, like, you are a part of the light. The light is cleansing you. You become a part of the energy that is cleansing and clearing your space. There's something really magical about that visualization. Finally, they're saying, a little protection ward that you keep in your bag, something you keep on you will be nice. And asking your good spirits, especially your guardians, your warriors, your protectors, to be embodied within this token, this totem that you can stick in, you know, your pocket or your bag and take with you is going to be really helpful and important. They love you. They're like, they squeeze your face. So proud of you. They're so proud of you. Thank you, Pooja. Okay, let's see who's next. All right. Okay. Trying to get to folks who've been here a while. All right, in the Forgotten Seat. What's this fall winter time look like for me and my business? I love this. That's it. Like this? Yes. Okay. This is nice. I haven't even flipped all the cards over, and I can already say it's nice. What you can expect more of, what you can expect less of. Are we reading reversals? Just in this case. Okay. And what's next? This is quite lovely. This is quite lovely, Samantha. So first of all, on the bottom of the deck, we have the World. And between the World and the cards, the rest of the cards that are in front of me, there's definitely this affirmation that, why do I feel like crying? Like, I feel like you've been doing so much unearthing and self-discovery, and you find yourself in this moment where, like, you're just fucking glowing. Like, you are glowing in your self-confidence and knowing what you want, knowing what you desire. All of the answers might not be completely clear, but I fucking trust myself in the process, and it shows. It physically shows. It literally shows. And your spirits continue to encourage you to trust yourself and keep making these choices, taking these risks, because you are doing exactly what you need to do. When I look at what you can expect more of, we have the Chariot. So it does feel like travel is going to be a big part of this fall winter season. It doesn't seem like big far travel, like planes and trains, but perhaps automobiles, yes. You showing up at different places and doing certain things. I also feel that this is connected to you connecting with this is relative to you connecting with other people who are outside of your current community, whether it's through the internet, Zoom, what have you. It does seem to me that some of this travel isn't literal. It's more about you making bonds, making connections outside of your immediate circle in a really awesome and supportive and exciting way that helps propel you forward in the good work that you are doing. When I look at what I see less of for you in the fall winter, we pulled Justice reverse, and it's so rare that the spirits have me read reversals, but they're like, we meant what we said when I pulled that card out. And it feels like you're gonna have less problems. Like less problems, whether it's less chargebacks, less complaints, less people just like getting in your way and making things difficult for you, or even like you getting in your own way and making things difficult for yourself, as we tend to do because We are who we are, human beings, and that's okay. But it does feel like a lot of that disruption just isn't really a problem. And more importantly, when these obstacles, these like little kinks in the knots show up, you're not really pressed by it because you are so certain in yourself that you're like, we'll just figure it out. It's fine. There's this fluidity to your energy and your approach to complications or unexpected situations that make these moments that are a little bit tough or unexpected, like, not that big of a deal, not that dysregulating. And I think you're going to surprise yourself a little bit as they show up and you manage it. You kind of get to the other side of managing it and you're like I just handled that, and I didn't, feel like the world was falling apart in the process, and that's kind of cool. When I look at what's next, what's beyond this fall winter season, I pull the page. This is the Page of Pentacles, and I think this is really lovely because this is that continued affirmation that like you are on the part of the journey of like affirming who you are in this world, how you desire to show up, what you see, what you want your legacy to be long after you're gone. If there's one thing the dead all have in common, it's the desire to be remembered. And this good work that you are in process of cultivating and releasing into the world, it is going to become a part of your legacy. And how cool is that? How cool is that? That this work, the influence, the impact doesn't end with your last breath. It only continues on long after you're gone. Thank you. You're doing great. You're doing great, kid. Okay. Who else has been here a while waiting? Okay, I feel like Jovan Sage has been waiting a while. How should I be focusing my spiritual development now? Okay, let's talk about it. Is this right now? Yes. Y'all, I think I'm too hard on my cards. Cut the deck, okay. Yes. Exciting. Love this. So the cards that I pulled for you from Offerings Oracle are Hearth, Divination, and Water. And immediately what I'm getting from Hearth is water together. It feels like you're supposed to be you're not supposed to do anything, but your spirits are suggesting and encouraging you to explore your relationship to like spiritual bath magic, tonics and teas, your relationship to how plant and water come together and can create magic. That can come in the form of like things that are specific to spirituality, like a baño or other, remedies, but it also can be in our relationship to food and the things we put into our body. And I don't mean that from like, I am not a nutritionist, LOL. I mean, just praying over your food before you prepare it and bring it into yourself, whether you make it from scratch or from the freezer section at Trader Joe's and stick it in the microwave, but taking the moment to give gratitude for the ability to feed ourselves, to give thanks to the spirits who have supported us, to give thanks to the many hands our food has passed through before it arrives in our care. That little extra step helps build a relationship with all of, not just the ingredients themselves, but with the people, right? Like in the United States, at least, we are so far removed from all of the steps, all of the plants, all of the soil, all of the people it takes to bring our food to our tables. And that's not our fault. Like, that was the design and system of capitalism and our government. But we do have the right to take that connection back by offering our prayers, by offering our gratitude. And I feel like this is really about building a stronger relationship with the spirits of the land, spirits of place, the land ancestors who are around you. They desire to be in right relationship with you so that y'all can commune with one another, and there can be a mutual trust that is built between y'all, and you can start working together and pouring into each other. And it feels like these ways of building relationship around the things that you make with your hands is important. I also think it's important, like, while you're doing these things, whether it's cooking or creating spiritual remedies, they don't want you to, like, distract yourself too much. Like my dad always had a TV on in the kitchen when he was cooking. He had TV on in every fucking room. But he always had the TV on in the kitchen. So he was never fully present in the work that he did. Or maybe that was his meditation and I'm just being critical. So shame on me. The point is, your spirits like, don't have too much distraction going on when you're doing things in the kitchen, because I do feel like that's when your downloads start coming. It's when spirits move through you and assist you. It's when moments of clarity arise for you. So it's important to not have too much distraction going on while you're in there so that you're in a position to receive those messages. Finally, divination is coming up for you. And it does feel like cartomancy in particular, like not tarot, but playing cards, is calling to you. And they're asking you to spend some time exploring that further. There are a couple, do I have it here? No, it's not here. I have books everywhere, but never where I need them when I need them. If you DM me or email me, I can send you some book recommendations on cartomancy. I know Grandma Baby's Apothecary like immediately comes to mind, but I also have some other books that I've found interesting for learning to read playing cards, if that's something that's interesting to you. Thank you, thank you. This is the deck that I made. It's Offerings Oracle. It's very cute. It's amazing. I love it. It's available on my website. You just got a Lenormand. Yeah. That has like the playing card stuff on it. Yes. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. Gotta move faster, Kate. Okay, Moonchola. And y'all, if you like live readings, I absolutely encourage you to check out Moonchola, follow Moonchola. Blanca like sets the standard for this type of reading situation, and I think she's amazing and so cool. And she also has a Patreon, and she's also an astrologer, which is very cool to me. So I encourage you to check out her work. Who does playing cards? Grandma's Baby Apothecary has a lot of helpful information. She also makes her own deck of playing cards, so that might be of interest to you. Okay. Looking for some solutions, finances, business relationships. You got it. Cut the deck. I just put it in the chat, Rebecca. Oh, Rebecca, you would like that deck. Okay. I see lots of good, first of all. I will say immediately, it feels like there's someone in your circle, your more businessy circle, who's been a little bit wishy-washy, and rather than cutting off ties entirely, because that bridge might prove itself to be worth crossing once again, they kind of want you to like quiet quit. Like quiet quit this person or this organization that seems to like, they just don't have straight answers. They always seem to not have their shit together, and like you are very like, we're here to get things done. Like I have vision, I have an idea, I am going to do, like you impress me, A, but B, like you're really good at being organized and having a plan and executing that plan to the fullest extent, and like you don't have time, quite frankly. It was nice, your spirits are saying, for you to give them a chance, an opportunity to be in collaboration with you in whatever capacity this is, but your spirits are like, pay them no more mind, because you don't have time for this. Like you have too much that you desire to do to keep giving them chances to show up for you the way you need them to. When it comes to what your spirits want you to lean into, keep being yourself, baby. Like keep being yourself, because you have strong convictions, you have incredible ideas, and you continue to bring those visions to life in a way that the people around you get to experience your art, your dreams, your passion, and they see themselves in the work that you offer. It does feel like film is continuing to call for you, and your spirits want me to not say too much. Continue pursuing your creative storytelling. I feel like we're speaking in code right now. And calling in those who will help you finance that storytelling in a larger scale. It feels like revisiting some of your past stories and reintroducing them to larger audiences is well worth your time. And finally, your spirits really want to encourage you to protect your sleep. Not that there's any like entities or anybody trying to like spiritually attack you while you're sleeping. Not that at all. I just want to make sure you're getting enough rest, which is no small feat for somebody who's not only a business owner and a creative, but also a parent. You are mommy, and they want to make sure that mommy is getting enough rest, whatever that is, you know, like sometimes mom only gets 6 hours, but we've got to protect that 6 hours with our life, because it is ours, and it is the only way that we are able to have the capacity to do the things that we desire to do. There's like huge potential here, and you've already planted the seeds, my darling. You have already planted the seeds, and you've already turned over a crop 1, 2, 3 times. The soil is good and fertile and free from toxins at this point. So like, don't let whoever this like messy farmer is come and mess things up for you while you are cultivating this garden that not only feeds you, but feeds those around you as well. It was nice of you to give them the opportunity. They're saying it again, but they're like, we can't do this anymore. Thank you, Blanca. Okay. Let's see. I feel like this one's been in here a while. Where'd it Okay, Rivka. Just moved to NYC. Congratulations. What's in store for me? What do I need to hear from Spirit right now? You're welcome, Blanca. I can't wait to see what you do. I'm real excited. This deck doesn't want to shuffle. Here we go. It's these giant cards. Cut the deck. Okay, this is fun. So the spirits told me to share with you what they're inviting you to lean into during this like New York season of life, what to pull back or lean out of, not pay as much attention to during this season. And also a little bit of what to release entirely. On the bottom of the deck, let's start there. We have the 8 of Pentacles, and they're telling me that this is an excellent time and environment to continue to refine and cultivate your craft. If you are an artisan, what is your art? What do you desire that art to be? This is a great time for skill building, for challenging yourself, for seeking mentors and teachers and community members that you can learn from. It feels like there's a lot to learn in this space, and your spirits are inviting you to be open to receiving education from unconventional places, unexpected places, and to give time and attention into building these skills that help you to become more and more masterful at the art that you are excited to offer into this world. Look at all these artists today. This is really fun. When I look at what your spirits invite you to lean into, I pulled the World, and I think that's just so lovely because the world is a blessed new beginning. It is an end to what once was, but this exciting, like, opening to what can be, and the potential really feels potent and limitless. If only you give yourself the opportunity to be in the places and in the around the people that help you bring these experiences to life. This isn't like hermit season. This isn't hermit season. This is a season of immersing yourself in community and culture, because not only do you build relationships with others and learn more about them, but you learn more about yourself in the process too. When I see what your spirits are inviting you to lean out of, I pulled the 6 of Wands. And TBH, this makes sense because the 8 of Pentacles is we are becoming more masterful. We are recognizing that there's more for us to learn and experience and grow from and witness. And the 6 of Wands is like, I did it. I've done it. We're done. We've accomplished the thing. And so the spirits are like, let's take a step back from this idea that we've like maxed out and we've accomplished all that we've needed to. There's like an important sense of humility that comes with being the apprentice, that comes with being the student. In order for us to receive well from those who desire to offer their guidance and wisdom to us. And that's what your spirits are inviting you to focus yourself more in. And also I feel like there's a sense of like, fuck, like I just don't have to always be on, which is kind of fucking nice. You don't always have to be on 100 all of the time. You can just kind of be yourself and chill out a little bit, which is necessary. We can't always be in active mode. We need to be in receptive mode sometimes so that our bodies and our brains can continue on in this long life that we're destined to have. Finally, I see the Justice card, and your spirits want to... What are they saying about this? It feels like in New York, you're going to come to, you will become aware of a lot of things about yourself that perhaps have been pushed to the side in the past, or you haven't even noticed until now. And sometimes when these things can come up and it can feel scary, it can feel a little dysregulating, but there's information, there are sites of wisdom within you that are seeking to be explored, to be witnessed. And I do believe that your spirits are saying that by exploring these internal lessons that are coming up, they also interact beautifully with your desire to strengthen, cultivate, become more masterful at your craft. Your spirits really want to encourage you to like put yourself out there and to like not be afraid to be in the background sometimes, because there's a lot for you to learn in those spaces. And also it takes a lot of the pressure off, which I feel like your guides think you need right now. This is going to be a really beautiful season for you, a really exciting time, and a really transformational time that is, it feels like your spirits are saying like, this is the moment where we grow into adulthood. Like, this is it. And I know like societally, like we are adults when we're 18, but are we really? I feel like we don't really become adults until we're in our 30s, TBH. And it feels like this season in New York is bringing you into your adulthood. And that's exciting and nerve-wracking, but incredible all the same. Congratulations on your move. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I get the folks who've been sitting here a while. Rebecca, general love relationship reading, not anything specific. You got it. Happily. Oh no. I'm psyched out. I need to be able to keep track. Okay, let me mark you on here, Rebecca, and then I will pull the cards. This is the right deck. Okay. Cut the deck. Okay. You don't know me, Rebecca. We've only been working together for 2 years. 3? I don't know. Something like that. Okay, so... Am I reading reversals? No. Okay. Your spirits... Can this thing just stay in my ear? I'm so sorry for all the noise that... 3 years. It has been 3. Happy anniversary. Okay, so your spirits are asking me to share in regard to love and relationships, what they're encouraging you to lean into, what they're encouraging you to lean out of, and then finally what they're encouraging you to learn from. Let's start on the bottom of the deck though, which is the Knight of Wands. And it does seem like this season is ripe for the exploration of passion. The exploration of sensuality and sexuality and the fire inside of us that recognizes and connects with the fire inside of others. And this really is a welcome time to explore this idea of romantic connection. What I see your spirits want you to lean into, interestingly, is the Ten of Wands. And what they're telling me about this is like, you don't need to do anything extra to find these potential paramours. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Focus on your work, focus on your home, your responsibilities, show up in the spaces where you are needed. And it does seem like through the responsibilities you already have on your plate, it's going to bring you into environments where you end up connecting with others that you may have a potential romantic, liaison with, which is kind of fun. When I see, it's nice that like you don't need to do anything extra. There's no getting on the apps, etc. You just show up where you need to be, and you will find that other people start showing up in those spaces too. And you're kind of like, are they looking at me funny? I think they like me. When I look at what your spirits are asking you to lean out of, it's the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is, they said very clearly, releasing the idea that you know what the perfect relationship looks like. Which, is a process and a practice, not an immediate understanding. This might be one of those things that is helpful that is helped by the engagement with affirmations. Saying to yourself, I release the idea that I know what a perfect relationship looks like and should be for me. Because I think opening yourself up to experiences in those liminal spaces is what's really going to find you the type of connections that truly are in alignment for you. Your spirits are kind of dragging you right now. They're like, you come up with a lot of excuses for why like something might not work. And they didn't say like reasons, they said excuses. And look, we all do different things to protect our hearts. And the truth is, you can't ever truly protect your heart when it comes to romantically connecting with another person, or even friendship connecting with another person, because you can only be responsible for yourself. And opening ourselves up to love is also opening ourselves up to heartbreak, and that's fucking scary. But it's the cost. It's the trade-off of giving folks the chance to fucking surprise us in the best way. And sometimes it's amazing and sometimes it hurts. But we won't know unless we give ourselves a chance. And of course, when you see real things that are in front of you that are a problem, and the person in front of you is not willing to work on those things, for sure, like set your boundaries, absolutely. But your spirits are like, set your boundaries when they're necessary, not in advance, I think is what's coming through. Finally, what your spirits are asking you to learn from is the Knight of Swords. And again, I feel like they're dragging you a little bit today, and I'm so sorry. But they're like, watch your mouth. Listen, that was a journey for me too. As a Gemini Sun, Scorpio Moon, I am gifted at being able to cut people to their core with my words with little effort on my part. And this is something that I had to work through as well. It's growth. But your spirits just want you to, take a moment so that you can respond rather than react. Respond rather than react. Because your words are powerful, and you can wield that sword in whatever direction you desire. And your spirits want you to be mindful of this power, right? What do they say in Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. And your spirits want you to keep that in mind. This is what they want you to learn from. You're cackling. I'm sorry. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. Let's see. Fresh only. Would love a general reading. General love reading. Your girl is tired of being single. You got it. Okay, let's get into it. It feels like you have a lot of responsibility weighing on you. You carry a lot of burdens that are not only your own, but some of these can really be delegated and should, you don't have to do anything I say. They don't, it's not that it should be, but could be delegated to others. And it feels like there isn't a lot of energy or time to offer to partnership. So your spirits want you to like sit down and consider with them, like, in what ways can we lighten the load? In what ways can we move things off of our plate and place them in the hands of others? And I think that in speaking to your spirits about this, you're going, I feel like some of this stuff on your plate isn't like literal physical responsibilities that you've taken on for others. I think some of this is like emotional burdens, emotional ties that we have to others, which, I mean, it happens. We're humans. So your spirits want you to sit and consider, like, which of these feelings really are mine? Which of these beliefs really are mine? And which ones aren't? Which ones am I able to release? Which ones am I able to set on the altar as an offering to my spirit so that they can carry that for me, so I don't have to hold on to this anymore? And you know what? Some of these beliefs might be yours because of experiences that you've had that have proven these things to be true for you. But not every relationship is the same. Not every person is the same. And sometimes our past experiences can leave us weary of future opportunities or present opportunities for connection. So doing some like reflective journaling conversation with your spirits in regard to these beliefs you have around relationships, I think is going to be a really lovely spiritual remediation and really helpful in opening you up to romantic connections. When I look at what your spirits are inviting you to be open to, interestingly, I pulled the 5 of Pentacles, and what they're saying is, like, status need not be a factor. Status need not be a factor. And, like, look, I am fully team date someone who can pay your bills. Shamelessly, I will say that with my whole chest. I don't think your spirits are encouraging you to like date someone whose bills you have to pay by any means, but this status might not be financial. It might be social. But they want you to consider being open to connections that are outside your usual parameters and expectations. It might even be like physical expectations, you know? Like some people feel like we have a type and it's got to fit within this idea of this ideal imaginary person that we have in our mind. But if you open yourself up to folks that exist beyond those physical ideals, you can find connections that might be really authentic and lovely. When I look at what your spirits want you to be close to, again, at first I was like, that's odd, but I pulled the Two of Cups and I was like, what does that mean? And they said, be close to like rushing into things too quickly. Be close to overcommitting yourself to another person too quickly. Be mindful of like getting swept away at this point, because it feels like for you now in this chapter of your life, like slow and steady is what wins the race. Slow and steady is what wins the race. When I asked Spirit what they want you to be clear about when it comes to connections with other people, I pulled the King of Cups. And this is about being clear in how you are feeling. Be clear in not just like how you're feeling romantically, but like, this is something that happened and this is how I feel about it. This is something I did and this is how I feel about it. Rather than waiting for somebody to intuit or guess what it is that's going on. I feel like this is usually like especially important if you are interested in dating cis men, like, but really this can be a lesson for anyone. We can't expect the people in our lives to just know what we're thinking and know what we're feeling and know what impact their actions or choices have had on us. We have to give them a chance to really understand what it is that we're moving through by being honest about what's on our mind and what's on our heart. Because when somebody is truly invested in you and something happens that makes you feel like a way that's not great, if they're truly invested in you, you talking about it is not going to upset them. It's going to make them think like, oh, thank you for telling me. Like, I didn't know. What can we do differently together? Or, oh, this is what I was trying to do, and it might change your perspective about it. Like, you know, having those open lines of communication about how the things that we're moving through together are making us feel is very important. I think step one, and the most important step, is what they mentioned in the beginning, this like journaling around, reflection around beliefs when it comes to relationships, sorting through the things that are capital T truths, things that are part of your core, things that are part of who you know you are and what you desire in this world, and separating those from the little T truths, things that you've come to believe, things that you've come to assume from other experiences and other people's choices that might not always be true in every situation. Starting there seems to open the door to more romantic connections in your life. Okay, let's see who's next. Click, click. All right. Spirit sounds a lot like my therapist. LOL, then we're doing a good job. I'll put more lipstick on. Okay. Let's continue. Paulette. Should Dawn and I work on our relationship or call it quits? You got it. It's a juicy one. Cut the deck. Here's what I'm getting. And as always, do with this what you will. Like, you've got to make your own choices. And our spirits want us to be brave and exercise our autonomy and make our own choices. With that said, they've offered me some insight on these two separate paths. One is staying and the other is leaving. So staying, I do see like the Death card, like some bit. ominous. But death is a card of transformation. Death is suggesting that to stay requires everyone being open and willing to notice the spaces where changes are necessary. Notice the spaces within each of ourselves. Notice the spaces within the relationship as a whole where things can be different, where things can be better, where things can be more aligned and more supportive and can cultivate a healthier long-term relationship. The other thing that's coming through is like we need to have more open and honest conversations around finances, access to resource, housing, bill paying, all of these things. It feels like a lot of the distrust I'm hearing comes around these types of topics, which is not unusual in long-term, at least, romantic relationships, that a lot of struggles come around like money itself. It also feels like where we should be, where on earth we should be, tends to be a little bit of a struggle. And again, like, are we willing to talk to one another? Are we willing to each make, I don't want to say like compromises, but changes? And it does really feel like a both sides thing. It doesn't necessarily feel like one person is particularly out of pocket and needs to like work on their shit. It feels like both of us have some stuff that we could do differently, that we could do better, that we could do more kind, that we could be more honest about. And if we decide to stay, it feels like that's the necessary work that we are looking at in order to get this partnership into a place where it is healthy and supportive and we are growing together. With that said, I do see the potential for y'all to do some major growing up together. And I think that's the coolest part about being in a healthy long-term relationship with someone, is that you experience so many rebirths of one another together. Who you are at the start of that relationship is not who you are 2 years in, 10 years in, 50 years in. And you are supportive of one another's growth as individuals, and that creates growth together as a partnership. And it's kind of nice to have another human to go through all these big, scary and exciting transformations with together, to have somebody who's excited for you and rooting for you and who you do the same for. Now, if we look at if you leave, I do see a lot of potential for you to experience kind of like a sensual, sexual, creative awakening for yourself. There's this like burst of self-confidence and self-awareness that comes to you when you detach yourself from this particular partnership. It's exciting. And you are in a position where you start to feel more certain of who you are in this world and what it is you are able to accomplish. And it's exciting for you that you've been able to do this for yourself. Like that, like motivates you. It fuels you. It does seem like breaking up, if you decide to do that, is going to take a minute. Like, it's probably going to be one of those situations where we break up a few times. It's probably going to be one of those situations where we accidentally keep sleeping with each other. Oh my God. I don't know how this keeps happening before we actually get to the point where we're like, we got to stop this. I see potential for your growth and your transformation either way, which is kind of cool. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide, do I want to do this growth? Do I want to experience this growth on my own? Or do I want to give another person an opportunity to be a part of this transformation and witness their transformation as well in the process? There's no wrong answer. There's only your answer. And your spirits aren't going to make this decision for you, but they'll be here to support you no matter what choice you make. You're welcome. Okay, let me mark you on here. Christina. Okay. Are there any specific Catholic figures, saints most relevant to my journey? Ancestral ties, most relevant to my journey, ancestral ties, or just my life, current life events? Yeah. Yes. Yes, there are. She's technically not a saint because the church would never. But Mary Magdalene seems to be coming through very strongly for you. Yes. She comes through very strongly for you. And like, who is Mary Magdalene? The first disciple, according to many scholars. And also, like, the financer. Like, she was a bad bitch who was like, fuck yeah, like, this dude has radical ideas. He's anti-authority, anti-empire, I mean, it wasn't called capitalism back then. That didn't come until later. But she's like, this dude challenges the oppressor, and I think that's really neat, and I have access to resource, and I'm going to give it to this person. I am going to invest my wealth in somebody who is interested in destroying the towers around us and building a better world, a better, more communal, kinder world. And Mary Magdalene is a very empowering feminine spirit. She's very much connected to like self-agency, agency over your body, agency over your choices. And she feels extremely present for you right now and is inviting you to build relationship with her. Okay. Let me refresh this. I'm going to quickly take screenshots of all of the questions just so I don't accidentally lose them. And then, all right, I'm going to take a quick bio break and refill my water bottle, and I'll be back in 5. And if you have questions, yeah, go ahead and send them over. We've still got time. I'm back. Just lighting another candle. And then we'll continue. Stand up straight. Okay. Did anyone ever see that Nicole Kidman movie? The spooky one? Whenever my veil goes over my face, I think of it. Okay. Who's next? The Others. Yeah, that's what it was called. Spooky. All right. Oatmeal Mommy. I saw your question. Let me open it up. Oh, I just had a burp. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, you have 2 questions. Okay. I've been having a hard time at my day job. Is there any guidance my good spirits can offer me? When will I know that it's time to leave? Thank you. You're welcome. Let's get into it. Cut the deck. Okay. All right. I definitely see your spirits affirming that it's not the most comfortable environment. This is certainly not the most comfortable environment. But what your spirits are also sharing is that even though it might feel irrelevant to what you are trying to accomplish, or maybe you do see the way it's connected, the point is that this current job is helping to bring you the skills and insight and information that are going to be supportive to your bigger goals later down the line. And I find often that we'll do these jobs and we're like, I fucking hate doing this. And then later we're doing the things we really like. And we realize that some of those skills that we acquired in these situations that were certainly not ideal become incredibly helpful for us when we're in positions that we actually adore and enjoy. The example I always like to use is when I was working in wholesale, one of the things that we had to do every day in order to make sales was send personal emails to thousands of accounts every single day. And I would just sit there over and over and over again. And I disdained it. But if I had not had that skill, I would not have been able to publish Offerings Oracle, because that very skill is the reason why I was able to have enough people come and support me so that I had the funds to publish this deck. So I do feel like even though it's uncomfy right now, there are some benefits that you will likely not realize how helpful they are until later on down the line. With that said, your good spirits are encouraging you to do some, not even protective magic, but I would say domination magic over whomever or whatever it is that is giving you this thorn in your side, pebble in your shoe type of vibe. Those things that are frustrating you. Speaking of shoes, if it's a person, put them in your shoe. If it's the whole organization, put them in your shoe. And the way you do this is you take a piece of paper, and I was taught to use brown paper bag, but I also find that it's helpful if you use paper that is important to your job. Like in one of the showrooms, we had order forms that had yellow carbon copies and pink carbon copies, and we only used the white copy and the pink copy. So I would rip up pieces of the yellow carbon copy, write my boss's name in pencil without lifting the pencil from the page. And then in black ink, I would write my name on top without lifting the pencil from the page. You put that little piece of paper inside of the shoe of your dominant foot with the names touching the bottom of your foot. And that assists you in asserting energetic dominance over whomever or whatever it is that's like making things more difficult for you. You can put multiple names if need be. But I find it's particularly... Oh, fuck. I knew I smelled something burning. No! It is what it is. Burned a card. I find this particular method of domination magic to be helpful, especially in spaces where we're dealing with like coworkers or policies or bosses who are particularly frustrating. Finally, you'll know when it's time to quit. You will know. And more importantly, you will have other opportunities in front of you when that time arrives. Back to what they just said about you will have more opportunities when that time arrives. I do encourage you, like in your free time, which is not always abundant, to start investigating like other places. Start updating your resume. Start putting out feelers in whatever network you have and seeing what other places, jobs are available to you so that you can start sending things out. And then the minute you get that acceptance letter and sign it from a new company, you can say, I'm putting in my notice effective today. No 2 weeks, effective today. So while you're there, put them in your shoe. And when it's time to go, just go. You don't owe them anything. Making sure nothing's on fire. Okay. Your next question, Oatmeal Mommy, is I'm also curious if my good spirits have anything to say around the move forward with putting my offerings out into the world. What should I be focusing on now and in the future? Okay. Cut the deck. Goodness. Now, future. Oh, yes. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And what this is telling me is that the season is ripe now for you to begin planting the seeds of sharing your offerings with the world. This is an excellent time to begin. And they want to remind you that right now it really is a seed. And that's not to discourage you, but rather take some of the pressure off of you so you don't have to feel like this needs to be perfect right now. This needs to be perfect before I can share it with others. Often when we are sharing our offerings with the world, whether they are creative or, you know, maybe you're business related or math, whatever the fuck it is, like that's your vibe. It doesn't need to be perfect yet, because what happens is that as we are experimenting in these early stages and just trying to put ourselves out there, like the Fool card, it is in the experience of these processes that we start to realize, oh, this is what it's turning into. This is what it's becoming. When it comes to what they'd like you to focus on now, I pulled the Six of Swords, and it feels like it's about mutual support. How can you be the boat that offers people help with the problems that are at hand. How does what problem does your offering help to solve or bring clarity around? When it comes to the future, I think it's really interesting that we move from right now a minor arcana card to later a major arcana card, but I pulled Temperance, and it feels like TBH, it feels like whatever this work you are doing is, it's becoming some sort of healing modality. This way to offer comfort through seasons of trial and tribulation. And is that still smoking? No. Sorry, y'all. My card's caught on fire. Whatever this thing is, you will begin to understand what that means when you give yourself the opportunity to just try it and put yourself out there. So it makes sense that, oh my God, I have to turn the fan on. Like, are you for real? Hold on, I'm going to turn the fan on. Excuse me. Lit a whole paper on my altar on fire. Right now they want you to really consider, like, what is it that the things that I offer help solve for others? And you might not be totally clear on that answer right now, but it's a good time to start doing some reflection and writing, it seems, around this work. And over time, you'll start to understand more clearly, like, what your unique thing is. You know, it starts with astrology and dream work, yes, but it's going to be more than that or different than that, but you'll only discover it by allowing yourself the opportunity to be of service to others. My goodness, glad I didn't burn my house down. Okay. Cambodia. I'm back here in the motherland of Cambodia. Love that. Just want to know what to expect and look for with the opportunities or an important message I need to know while I'm here. You got it. So, my dear, the spirits have me look at what to be open to, what to be mindful of, and just an extra little message from them. And I think this is quite lovely. First of all, everything is very sunny. Everything is very sunny. So I'm not sure how long you're planning on staying there, but if possible, like, at least through the spring, if you can. I don't know what the situation is, but I do feel like there's something special for you there if you're able to stay that long. What they want you to be open to is the sun. And what I'm receiving is the spirits of the land wish to embrace you, wish to draw you in and hold you close, to remind you that you are their child and they are your mother, and that they are so pleased you are here, you are home. They said you belong here. You belong here. And they said the kindness of others will not be in short supply. They're encouraging you to embrace community while you're there, making friends, meeting neighbors, immersing yourself in not just the spirits of the place, but the people of the place. Becoming a part of this world too. It feels like the land there wishes to offer you the opportunity to really set in roots and flourish in this place. I keep hearing from the land spirits there, you are welcome. You are welcome. We love you. We love you. I'm so sorry, the smoke is still in here. You are welcome. You are welcome. We love you. We love you. And the spirits keep emphasizing that within this space, there's an opportunity for you to set in roots and to build a future that allows you the opportunity to flourish, to feel supported, to feel seen, to feel understood. On the on the bottom of the deck, I see the Justice card. And what they're sharing with me is that there is some ancestral remediation that you may want to tend to while you are there. It might be helpful to do an ancestral elevation while you are there, just for any spirits of your lineage who are ready and in need of assistance in making the transition to the light. I do feel like there are some spirits there who have experienced some heartaches, some struggle, and they have not felt safe enough to transition to the other side. And I think it's not because, they're trying to hold on to control by any means. I feel like they feel obligated to continue protecting those who are still alive. But it's their time to get to transition into their ancestral realms, and they're ready now that you're there. They feel more comfortable now that you're there. So an ancestral elevation for those spirits in particular, I think would be really helpful for you. And I also think it's going to be surprisingly enlightening for you. There are going to be some things you learn, you learn about yourself and who you come from in this process. Keep looking to make sure nothing's on fire. So sorry, everyone. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Mystic Munja or Munha. What do I need to learn spiritually or what otherwise around the stagnancy of the spiritual services I offer? Okay. Is this right deck? Yes. Yes. Okay. So, first and foremost, you do good work. You do good work. And your spirits want to just affirm that it is in alignment for you to offer spiritual services to others. With that said, they're talking about how like people are struggling right now. And spiritual support, though it should be a normal part of life, has become a luxury. And it seems as though a lot of the slowness has less to do with you and more about the struggles that folks who could and would like to pay you are experiencing. Your spirits are encouraging you to be patient and be persistent. And to be patient, be persistent, and consider new and creative ways to be of service. I would go to your altar, spend some time with your spirits, and pray for the clarity to see the creative ways you might shift gears in your public spiritual practice, and the capacity and courage to move forward with those ideas. Again, your spirits want to emphasize that, like, you're not doing a bad job. These are the circumstances of our environment. I also feel like not everybody knows where you are. Like, not everybody knows how to find you. And your spirits don't want you to be afraid to, like, talk about yourself, to share about yourself, to share about your work. Because the more willing you are to be seen, be witnessed, the more you open yourself up to potential clients who will be excited once they find you and have the opportunity to work with you. Have confidence in the work that you do. Consider what ways you can offer something a little bit different, offer something a little bit new. And if you are nervous about being more present on whatever platforms it is that you engage on, they're like, push through it and show up anyway, so that you're giving yourself the opportunity to experience the kind of success you desire, and you're giving clients the opportunity to find you and engage with you. Okay, I feel like all the smoke is out of the room now. That was crazy. It was my fault. The candle was not in properly. There's still time. Flower Fairy. You can find the donation links in my bio, and then you can drop your question in the question box. Look, there's mascara on my eyelid. Why? Okay. Oops, I already answered this question. All right, let me go back and see if I've missed anyone on this list. Ashley May White. Okay. I would love to know what actions will progress my growth in my practice spirituality. You got it. Shuffle again. All right, Ashley, for you I pulled devotion, direction, reflection, and rest. So first things first, your good spirits want to encourage you to start calling in the directions on a daily basis. And you can write your own prayer. You can work from a prayer or invocation that someone else has written. I find that like when you want to do your own, but you don't know where to start, working with someone else's at first can be really helpful, because as you repeat it over and over again, you start to notice the way your spirits are encouraging you to shift the language, restructure the order of things, and eventually it turns into something that is completely yours. So I want to start encouraging you to call in the directions on a regular basis. And when you are calling in the directions, check in. Rather than just, north, south, east, west, be with me here right now, meet me in the center. As you call out to each direction, ask the spirits, ask the guardians of that direction, what do they need? What do they need from you? And at first, you might feel like you aren't hearing anything back, but the more consistent you are in asking those questions each time you call in the directions, the more you start to realize that you are receiving messages about what it is they need from you. And it might be something very ritualistic and ceremonial. We need you to leave this offering. We need you to light this candle. We need you to hop around on one foot and spin to the left. Like, I don't know, performance-y. Or it might be something more tangible. We want you to consider how you can be of service to your community. We want you to clean your bedroom and put away the laundry. But by checking in with each direction, it's going to give you some literal direction on what you can do with your time, your energy, your attention to begin building stronger relationships with your good spirits and your spiritual practice. The next thing is reflection, and I really do feel like these two things go hand in hand, because it is in the requests and instructions that directions offer to you. And actually engaging in those things, showing up and doing those things, that you start to learn things about yourself. You start to learn things about yourself. And like the reflection comes through the process, the experience of actually showing up. And that comes back to also this devotion card. It's not calling in the directions once. It's making a commitment to showing up every day at your altar and doing this exercise, doing this ritual, so that you are able to build communion, to build reciprocal and trusting relationship with those good spirits who surround you. Finally, rest. They want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. And I mean, what is enough? So whatever sleep you are able to do, protect it. Focus your spiritual hygiene around sleep, cleansing yourself, putting your phone on its charger away from your head, away from the bed, making sure that, even though I love to binge a Netflix show once I'm sitting in bed, sometimes I just need to turn the TV off and let myself go to sleep. So making sure that you're getting enough rest is important. Finally, I do feel like there's a spirit guide who would like a mirror on your altar for them. Silver. They like silver mirrors. Thank you, Ashley. Oops. Okay. Oops. I lost track of my list. Let's see who's next. Christina. Did I already do Christina? Pretty sure I did. I thought I already read for you, Christina. Yeah, okay, I did. So then that's good. Thank you all for your patience. I am still taking questions. If you're interested in receiving a reading, you can find the donation links in my bio. Nora. Nora, I don't see your question in the question box. So if you could drop it for me when you get a chance, that would be great. Autumn the Gray. I did see your question. Okay. Binging Love Island too much. Listen, I understand. It was a very good season of Love Island. Okay, Autumn. Before the summer solstice, I attracted the attention of an unfriendly spirit. I dealt with him as I knew how, but I am recently feeling like I may encounter him again this season. Seeking guidance as to whether he's sticking around and how I can shore up my boundaries if he is. Okay, it's a juicy one. Cut the deck. Okay. Am I reading reversals? Yes. Yes. So, it feels like this particular spirit was, as strange as this may sound, romantically attracted to you, like romantically invested in you. And part of that, it's like a possessiveness. I agree, it does feel as though you were able to ward them off for now, but the connection, the like psychic connection between you two is still active and present. Who is this? This is a human spirit. Feels like someone you were in a relationship with in a past life. Not ready to let go. And it does feel like there were a lot of like, we'll be together forever type promises made between y'all in whatever lifetime you were together. There is still some work to be done around removing any psychic cords, dissolving any spiritual contracts that still exist between you two. When it comes to removing the cords, I say removal and not cutting, because when you do the ritual, I encourage you to uproot any connections that you have to this spirit rather than just trimming them away, because what I have found is that certain connections have a way of growing back together if we don't uproot them entirely. It does feel like your connections to the spirit are like in your throat, like right here where isn't the thyroid around here? It feels like it's around there. and even under here, right under your chin. It feels like that's where the connections to this unfriendly spirit are. And so I would just make sure that as you're doing your ritual, you're pulling them out, and making sure to remove all of the connections that you have to that spirit. I would also consider using, whatever methods you prefer for dissolving spiritual contracts that you have about being together forever with this spirit is important. But the key to dissolving these kind of contracts is that, like, you have to want to, and you have to want to stick to it. And sometimes that can be our biggest struggle. So when you're ready, I would sit down and, maybe you do it through trance work, maybe you do it through sympathetic magic, but I would definitely include dissolving any spiritual contracts you have made with this spirit, so that you're no longer connected to one another. I don't think elevation would be beneficial for that spirit at this time because they are not ready to release the hold that they have on that earthly life that they experienced. And if you try to do elevation now, it'll just be a lot of work in vain. So start with that and see how it goes, see how you're feeling. Sometimes we have to do things more than once magically or ritually before it has the full effect. This is not unusual. I think it's the norm, TBH, to have to do things more than once for it to be fully effective. I do feel like this eclipse, although I rarely encourage folks to cast spells or do ritual during this time, it does feel supportive of this work. So this might be a great time to go ahead and do it. Okay? Yeah, right here. I can feel it. Oh, Roastifer, Toastifer, you're Nora. Got it. Thank you, Autumn. Okay, I'm new to working with spirits and guides. Are there any trying to connect with me? Always. There's always a spirit and guide trying to connect with us. There are many different guides that comprise our spiritual court. Your court is the group of spirits assigned to support and assist and uplift you in this lifetime. One is coming through in particular. They're very sage-like. They're kind of giving me like Gandalf the Grey. They're like Gandalf the White. Okay. They're kind of giving me Gandalf the White. Long gray hair, long gray beard. I call this, so in Espiritismo we have different commissions of spirits or legions of spirits, and they're kind of like archetypes. And there are lots of traditional legions of spirits within Espiritismo, and they're all relative to like Creole Caribbean culture, right? But I've kind of developed a few more commissions of spirits and working with different people from all sorts of backgrounds and who live all over the world. And I would say this spirit guide is of the commission of Merlins, as I like to call them. These very sage-like, whimsical, fantastical, robed, but deeply brilliant spirits. Not an alchemist, but a Merlin, if you will. And what's your name? Their name starts with an R sound. It's like coming through translation, and I'm just not, it feels like they can't find the appropriate name to match it to so that I can understand. It starts with an R though. It feels like it's Gaelic. Yes, okay, it's Gaelic. So I would do a little bit of research around names that start with the R sound in Gaelic and ask your good spirits to help advise you, like, which one is it? Which one is your name? Which one is it? They're very wise, very patient, very even-tempered. They don't really have like big emotional reactions because they spend most of their time observing, understanding. Despite them not being overtly emotional, they are very deeply empathetic. And I feel like that's the reason why they don't have big emotional reactions, because they spend their time trying to see and understand all the different things that lead to the actions and choices that people make. It feels like they are here right now, at least. This is your main guide, so they're here. They're here, period. But something that they want to support you in now is cultivating some empathy for yourself, some compassion for yourself. And it feels like they're also here to help you with some ancestral investigation. Discovering more about your lineage. And discovering more about yourself in the process. You can call on them anytime. They're always here. They're always here. And if there's something you would like to leave on your altar or your whatever your sacred space is, for your spirit guides, your Merlin would like a silver star. Thank you so much, Nora. Okay, Bunny. Okay, this question is definitely about the distant future, but can the spirits confirm if I'm supposed to have another child? I had a dream that I had another girl and her name was Murphy. Murphy! That's so cute. Okay. Interestingly, I do see the Empress here, who's definitely a sign of fertility and motherhood, and the Queen of Wands, who also speaks to virility, and fertility as well. Now, there's also the Seven of Cups and the Five of Swords, and what they're telling me with this is like, yes, there is the spirit of a child who desires to be in your life, but they don't want you to make that your priority right now. You know, I feel like sometimes we get these visions and it almost feels unfair because we're like, oh, but I want that right now. And the spirits are like, no. No. They're speaking to you about how like you have so much going on in this. And look, I'm never going to tell you like what to do or not to do with your body. LOL. That is not my place. I will mention that your spirits are saying like, though the potential for this child exists in this lifetime for you, what they don't want is for that to distract you from the things that you are so passionate about and that you've been working so hard towards, because they're like, the things that you want, Zoe, will be even harder with a newborn right now. So distant future, for sure. For sure. Ultimately, like, you gotta do what's right for you. But that's at least the opinion your good spirits have on the matter. Nora, you're Irish? LOL. So you'll figure out the name real quick. And then tell me what it is. I love it. Gaelic names are so cool. Okay, let's see. Aniko, I know I saw you in here. Here we go. What do I need to focus on for my solar return and the year ahead? Let's see. If this cuts off, I'll just start a new live. It usually cuts off at 4 hours. And I think we're just now approaching 3. So I just want to make sure to screenshot everybody's questions just in case. Okay. What do I need to focus on for my solar return in the year ahead? You got it. Cut the deck. Okay. I love this. So, what your spirits are inviting you to lean into is the star. And recognizing and accepting that you are worthy of the blessings that your good spirits, your ancestors, and your hard work have brought about in your life and will continue to bring to you. There is a lot of question. There's a lot of smog, if you will, around feelings of worthiness. And what if it all goes away, is what I'm getting. Like, what if it all goes away? What if I lose it all tomorrow? And your spirits want to assure you that the way that you move through life is a way that is sustainable. The way that you move through life, you make choices that are careful. And, you know, you do take risks every now and then when it feels right, but you're not willing to risk it all for something that's not totally worth it. Like you make good choices, basically, is what they're trying to say. You make good choices, and it's your good choices, your hard work, your effort, your belief in yourself that will continue to bring you comfort, resource, reward. And I think the affirmation for you to start taking daily in this next year of your life is, I am worthy of the blessings that I receive in this lifetime. I am worthy of the blessings that I receive in this lifetime, because you are. And sometimes I am worthy and I am capable of keeping the blessings that I receive in this lifetime. When I look at what your spirits want you to lean out of, I pulled the 4 of Swords, and they're not saying no naps. They're saying don't sleep on yourself. Don't sleep on yourself. Don't sleep on your ideas. Don't sleep on those things that you know you want to do, because you're the type of person that when you see something like in front of you and you really want it, you can get it done. And I think that you've made a lot of really careful and smart decisions up to this point, but I also think you have a few kind of like, for you, they feel wild or outlandish or out of character, but your guides are like, again, you make good choices. So even though these things might seem different from the path that you've been on, they're well worth exploring and digging deeper into, allowing them to come up and be experienced. So don't sleep on those amazing ideas, and don't let others sleep on you either. Although I don't think you do. I really don't think you do let others sleep on you. I think sometimes it's more like you are like, oh, I can't do that. That can't be me. And then finally learn what they want you to learn in this next year is the Page of Swords, which is the potency and power of your voice. The potency and power of your words. Your voice is your greatest spiritual tool. Sing out your petitions. Speak your prayers loudly to the good spirits who surround and support you. Speak them with regularity. Sing often, because it is in exercising this gift that you will find more ease, and if not ease, more clarity and conviction in the actions you must take, the decisions you must make to continue working towards the life that you desire and dream of. Amazing. Happy birthday. Okay, let's see. Shosh. Okay, let me see who's next. I see a Venmo from someone named Shosh, but I don't know what your screen name is. So if you're here, let me know. Let's see, lavender blue shell. Then I'll come back to you. Okay. Am I on the right track at this time in my life? So, your spirits are offering me lavender blue shell. What is it in our current path that we can work on? What is it that we can embrace? And what is it that we can release to continue working in alignment with our destiny, with our heart's desire, with our role within this global community? And first of all, on the bottom of the deck, I see the Emperor, who tells me that, like, you've been building a solid foundation, you know, like you've been putting in the good work up into this point, and you should offer yourself a little bit of credit for all that you've done so far. When I look at what your good spirits want you to work on, it is the King of Wands, who's telling me, like, confidence. Confidence is something that your good spirits are asking you to work on this year. And like all things, becoming confident in ourselves is a practice, not a constant state of being, but something we must practice. And I do feel like they're saying mirror work will be helpful for you in cultivating confidence. I think speaking kindly to yourself, speaking highly over yourself while looking in the mirror is a spiritual exercise that's going to help you cultivate some of that confidence that your spirits desire to instill within you. Especially given that, like, they're saying, like, you've made good choices up to this point. You know, I'm sure you made some bad ones too. We all do. It's how we learn. But you've been putting in the work and building a solid foundation for yourself, for your future, and you deserve to experience self-confidence because you've worked really hard. When I look at what your good spirits are encouraging you to embrace, I see the Ten of Swords, and that tells me, like, something's done. Something's done. Put a fork in it. It's done. It's done. Stop trying to make it happen is what they're saying. Stop. Ooh, your spirits seem a little bit annoyed by this thing. Whatever this thing is that we keep trying to make happen, your guys are like, that's enough. That's enough. Like, how many times is the door? Ooh, they're a little grumpy about it. But I hear one of your guides saying, how many times does the door need to slam into your face before you accept that it is not a place for you? So I also feel like that goes back to confidence, right? We desire affirmation and appreciation from whatever space rests on the other side, whatever people rest on the other side of that door that keeps closing to us. And your spirits are like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So what your spirits are asking you to embrace to stay in alignment is whatever that ending is. Finally, what your spirits are encouraging you to learn from is conflict. How do we engage in conflict in a way that is reflective of our true core values? How do we engage in conflict in a way that honors who we are and how we desire to show up in this world? I myself have been doing so much work and reflection around conflict resolution and, you know, like, what does it mean to exist in community and while wanting to embrace, you know, an abolitionist world and an world without incarceration? How do we interact with one another when we have conflict? And it feels like that's a big thing. That's going to be a big lesson for you in the next year and a half, is understanding okay, what are my morals and values around this? What are my ethics of practice in life? And how do those morals, those ethics of practice guide me in the way I interact with others? And, you know, every conflict is not going to be the same. Your approach to every conflict is not going to be the same. But what are the standards that you're setting for yourself now in this chapter of your life? Because they inform, who you are going forward. Okay? Thank you so much, Lavender. Okay, Aretha. Let's see, am I missing anyone? Okay, I see everyone else. 1, 2. Curious what the rest of this year, this season has in store for me. How to prepare, be present for it. Okay. It's cloudy today. It's kind of nice. Okay, I do see, sorry, and also congratulations, the precipice of another spiritual awakening upon ye. I do see an expansion of your spiritual gifts, but with that said, it doesn't feel, yes, there will be discomfort associated with this awakening, as it always is, right? But you're not afraid. In fact, you're kind of excited. You're very welcoming of this transformational shift. And I think the way that you ground yourself through this change is by keeping to your altar, keeping to your prayers, showing up as consistently as possible, speaking to your spirits. This is what's really going to help keep you feeling level as you are moving through this incredibly transformative time. There will be moments where it feels like a lot. And you're like, fuck, I don't want to know all this. I don't want to know all this. I don't want to do all this. But at the same time, I think there's more of this feeling of being protected, cared for, blessed, excited, fulfilled. I mean, such is life that we oscillate between these two feelings of overwhelm with fear and overwhelm with joy. What could be more human than existing on either side of that pole, those poles, and also like swimming around in the muddy water between them? There is this sensation, there's this promise of, it feels like bloop, bloop, bloop. I see like Super Mario when he gets bigger because he like eats the flower, or first the mushroom then the flower, but I'm seeing the one where he eats the flower and his outfit turns all white. There's this opportunity for incredible transformation in your life, and one that is very welcome. Like, I feel that when death knocks at your door and says, are you ready? You're like, yeah, let me get the keys. I'll drive. I got this. This is something you've been waiting for. And it's like, is it time yet? Is it time yet? And they're like, now. The time is now for you to begin building this new chapter of your life. And it feels really exciting. And also, I want you to remember that, like, you aren't going through this experience alone. I think that transformation can feel very isolating at times, especially because when we start to meet new versions of ourselves, people we hang out with don't always fit in with what's next for us, you know, and that's okay. It's like no shade to them at all. It's just part of life. Sometimes we outgrow each other and it can feel a little bit isolating and lonely, but there are people who want to change with you, who want to grow with you. And if you're struggling to figure out who they are, ask your good spirits for their support in leading y'all to one another. At the bottom of the deck, we have Justice, and it does feel like there is a certain clarity to what you want to do, what's coming next. And TBH, it feels like there's this major development in your predictive and oracular skills, which is kind of radical. And you get to decide as they develop what you're going to do with it. What are you doing with it next? Exciting. Okay. Posh Ice. Which guide can help me with my creative expression? I feel there's a big project, a few actually waiting to burst, but it's not happening. Output, even just starting, has been so hard. Okay. This is a guide you already know, is what I'm feeling. What did I say? Okay, got it. This isn't so much about a different guide stepping up to help you in this season, but more about changing what it is you're asking for. This is about You are kind of in a season of reception right now. There are a lot of projects that want to burst out of you, but I don't necessarily feel like you're supposed to be acting on them in this moment. Like you have to urgently act on them in this moment. And our brains kind of trick us sometimes when we get downloads, we get ideas, and we're like, I want this right now. I want it to be done right now. And then we get really hard on ourselves because we aren't accomplishing things at the rate that our brains expect us to. And that's just like, that's not how creative things always develop. Sometimes they take time, and it does feel like you're still in a season of gathering information, gathering ideas. I do encourage you when you're speaking to your guides to ask them to assist you in removing the shrouds of doubt and hesitation. Removing the shrouds of doubt and hesitation. I do feel this has been coming up a lot today. A good head wash would be helpful for you. It seems like oregano. There's something about the spade-like spiciness of oregano that will be very supportive. Boiling some oregano in water in a pot you only use for spiritual purposes, letting it cool entirely, then jumping in the shower, doing your usual wash, then taking your cooled oregano water and flipping it over your head and allowing that to be scrubbed into your scalp. And I want you to physically remove those shrouds of doubt and hesitation that show up for you, and also of self-judgment that are hovering over you at this time. Because the truth is, you're gonna do the thing when you're ready to do the thing, and your spirits don't seem pressed for you to start making moves right now. Now is a good time to write things down, keep documenting your ideas, playing around with them, but it doesn't feel like they're pushing you to accomplish anything in this moment. They kind of just want you to give your body and your brain a chance to ground in and rest a bit. It does feel like come November, you're going to have that moment where this is what I'm doing next. This is what I'm doing next. It also feels like there's going to be a little bit of juggling. You have a few different ideas that have come up, and rather than finishing one in a very linear way and then finishing another in a very linear way, you're going to work a little bit on this one. And in the middle of that, you're going to have some ideas about the other one, and you'll start working a little bit on that one. And I think in moments like that, we are tempted to be like, oh, why can't I finish anything? But what if this is just the way you work? What if this is how you are able to finish things? By giving yourself the opportunity to bounce around a little bit so you don't get bored or resentful of what it is that you're working on. Your spirits, again, are emphasizing this is very much a season of the moon. We're still feeling around in the dark. We're still trying to unveil what it is that we're working towards in the moment. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some time, and in the meantime, keep writing things down, or drawing things, taking notes, however it is that you document the ideas that are coming through, so that your spirits know you are interested and committed to them. And it does feel like come November, the gumption to start getting things done is going to arrive for you, okay? Thank you, Posh Ice. Okay, Flower Fairy. I'm having a hard time finding or focusing on a niche when offering my spiritual services. Can I get guidance on that, please? Yeah. Is this the right deck? Yes. Yes. Okay. Shuffle again. All right, I'm not sure what kind of spiritual services you offer, but it does seem like your spirits are encouraging you to like focus on community building. Ooh, this is what it is. Your spirits are encouraging you to reach out to the people that you've already been in service with and get their feedback. Start reaching out to the clients you've already serviced and get their feedback, and don't be afraid to like ask questions rather than just saying like, can you give me a review? What is it that made you want to work with me? What was the experience like as we were working together? What was the experience like once the session completed? What kind of impact did that have on your life or whatever, work it is that y'all do together after we were done? Start getting really specific with those questions and see what their feedback offers to you, because it's going to give you a little boost of confidence, which we all need from time to time. Confidence in the work that you do, affirmation that you are, I don't know, I feel like a lot of us spiritual practitioners, we fight imposter syndrome all of the time, and I think this is going to help kind of it's like a little bit of a salve on those parts of ourselves that doubt our gifts and doubt the impact of what it is that we do. And it feels like from hearing directly from the people that you've already been in service to, you're going to receive some inspiration and direction about where you want to focus your work more exclusively or more like in depth. When you get that feedback from your clients, I also want you to consider along with that, what do I like to do? And what am I good at? What do I know I'm good at? What do I enjoy doing? And where did those three circles intersect? Like the Venn diagram of what do I like to do? What do I know I'm good at? What do my clients have to say to me? What's in the middle? What's in the middle of that? That's where you're going to start to receive some insight and clarity about what you can focus your spiritual offerings in greater depth, in greater capacity, in greater specificity. I do feel like there's a little bit of internal turmoil that's coming up, and that just might be relative to like struggling to identify that niche on your own, or it might be struggling to like accept the feedback that comes. And I don't just mean like the negative, not that there's going to be negative. I mean, maybe like I get feedback all the time, and at first I'm like, oh, am I in my feelings? And I'm like, actually, no, this is an opportunity to do better or different. It's why I love Moonshadows so much. It gives me the opportunity to do things that my clients like and appreciate. Anyway, the point is that, give yourself some grace. You might feel a little bit tender and vulnerable, asking people to answer your questions honestly, but from that experience, you will gain the clarity it is that you are struggling to find on your own. We're not meant to do everything alone. And I think this process is asking you to open yourself up to be vulnerable to the information others are willing to provide. Okay? Okay. Let's see. I think I missed some people from PayPal, so let me switch over to that screen. Check in. And also just take the opportunity to remind y'all that if you enjoy receiving readings from me, we do this twice a month in Moonshadows. We do it once via the Ask Ava event, which is flash readings that are held on Discord, and it's super fun. And then we also do Spirit Salon. We just had one last night where we join each other on Zoom and we do like community readings similar to this, except instead of typing it in the chat, we get to talk to each other and see each other, which is nice. Okay. So Jeanette, I see you here. Jeanette's Grace. Shame. Ooh, shame is my chokehold. So much that I have isolated myself from friends and family over these last 9 years. I live my days with just enough to make me feel as if I will overcome this shame. But I am deluding myself. How do I confront this shame? Look it in the eye and challenge it. How do I prepare and protect myself? How do I commune and align with my spiritual court so that I am not swayed by this chokehold of shame to undermine myself? I want to live in the ways of my ancestors, but I'm struggling. Okay. TBH, Jeanette, like this is a big question. And I feel like this type of question, it would be more appropriate for me to support you in like a one-on-one capacity. So I will offer you a refund on this because I just don't think I can do it justice within this context. I'm going to offer you a refund for this. I'm not just going to offer it. I'm going to give it to you, LOL. And if you feel like this is something you want to investigate with me, I'd be happy to send you a link to book a one-on-one. But I don't think I can do it justice in this type of setting. So I just sent you your refund and you should see an email for it shortly. Okay. Katarina, who is my spirit guide helping me in my witchcraft and psychic journey? What advice do they have for me? You got it. Jeanette, you're in Moon Shadows, so I can book through there. Yeah, absolutely. There's a link to book in the Moon Shadows homepage, and I recommend doing it that way because that's how you get your discount. For those of us who aren't aware, Moon Shadows members get $150 off of one-on-ones with me. Katarina! Oh, okay. Immediately I'm getting like Lilith vibes for you, Katarina. The guide that's supporting you in your like witchcraft development journey is of like the Lilith archetype of the Commission of Lilith. She's very tall and big wings, but they're very bat-like. With little claws at the top, and she's like long dark hair and brown skin and like piercing eyes, and she's like, call on me, and she really likes to be referred to by her different like epithets. Mother of Demons is one of them. And I just saw someone post, I think Lady Althea shared a class that someone is teaching on personal demons. And it's not like the Christian understanding of demons, but rather sometimes they're called daemons, but they're like these personal spirits that some folks believe that every person is born with, and they assist us in our magic and our personal development and our spiritual development. And I feel like exploring this realm with her is going to be really exciting and liberating and just like educational in the stickiest and sweetest and a little bit spicy of ways for you. I don't necessarily think you need to like put up a shrine for her at this time, because shrines are certainly a commitment, But at the very least, begin talking to her, begin building relationship with her, and you'll know when it's time to like adjust your spiritual spaces to fit her into it and to fit the commitment of tending to that type of shrine into your life. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Mark. Untethered CJ. Kavia. I feel like, Kavia, I feel like I answered your question at the beginning, but maybe I didn't. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me double check. I marked it as complete. I'm pretty sure, Kava, that I did your reading towards the beginning of our session. If you go back and watch this once I post it and it's not there, let me know. But I'm pretty sure I read for you at the very beginning. Oh wait, maybe I didn't. Okay, I'll get to you next. I think I might have marked the wrong person on your payment. Okay, Untethered CJ. Are the warnings I'm getting valid or fear-mongering? I think I matched the wrong name to your donation, Kava, so I'll get to you next. Okay. Okay, so CJ, I heard overwhelmingly before I even pulled the cards that it is like fear related. It is more aligned with fear mongering than it is with a credible warning is what I'm receiving. Your good spirits are inviting you to examine the things that you may be holding on a little too tightly to. Examine the things you may be holding on a little too tightly to, especially in relationship to your grief. Whether it's holding that grief in and not wanting to acknowledge it or even see that it's there. Maybe you're not recognizing that you're even grieving over this thing because you'd rather be mad about it or just be done with it entirely. But it does feel like there's something around grief that's being held a little too tightly to, and it's like that is having this influence that's sounding this like alarm that's making you feel like there might be something to worry about. So your spirits want you to spend some time just like internally reflecting with their support, with their help about what it is, like what's at the root of this alarm that's sounding off. Because it doesn't feel external, it feels internal. What's at the root of it really? And it does feel like you have two very maternal spirits who are with you and are happy to support you in doing this work, because TBH, this doesn't feel like a small thing. This doesn't feel like something you sit and journal about one time and you're like, okay, I'm better now, everything's fine. Like, this is gonna take you some time, and moving through grief is never linear. It's cyclical. All we can do is care for ourselves the best way we can. We know how. And there will be seasons where we're fine. And there will also be seasons where it all starts coming up to the surface. And there will be seasons where it's just this like dull yet present in the distance ache. And your spirits want to help you cultivate the disciplines and the tools to assist you in working through whatever is at the root of this alarm. Like, I'm literally seeing the red alarm emoji and these like mycelium looking roots growing down from it, and like, what's underneath that? What is hidden beneath the soil? That's what your good spirits are asking you to examine, because I think a lot of things about different parts of your life are going to become more clear in the process of you examining what's going on internally in connection to this alarm that's been sounding off. I would ask your good motherly spirits to be of assistance to you and help guide you in unearthing whatever this is, to hold you tenderly in the process. I do feel like this is also connected to some sort of spiritual awakening that you may be moving through, and I don't think this is your first one by any means. But it's an important one, and it's one that your good mother spirits will be with you and help you move through, so that you know you're not alone in this process. Thank you, CJ. Okay. Whoops, I signed out. All right. Kaiba. Did my earphones just die? Maybe. But it's not like I can hear y'all anyway. I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay, Kaiba. General reading, love reading. You got it. What lip liner lipstick do you use? That's my favorite question. Thank you for asking. We're going to pause for a moment and talk about it. This is, obviously I love it, the Makeup Forever Artist Stick in Endless Cacao. And that's the liner that I'm using. I also use it on my eyebrows, and I recently got the waterproof version for my eyebrows since I shaved half of my eyebrows off and I don't want what I draw on to disappear. But before I do this, which is Whatever Walnut, and I bought this because Trixie Mattel uses it, and I do like a general outline of my lips and fill them in with this first, and then I do this just for the outline, and then I use for my lips, this is my new favorite because a little bit goes a really long way and it stays on really well, but it's the Lawless Balm Stick. It's not lip balm. It says it's lip balm, but it's not. Like, this is lipstick. This is the Lawless Balm Stick in Cupid, and these are the Makeup Forever Artist Pencils in Endless Cacao and Wherever Walnut. Am I a beauty influencer now? Okay, Kaiba's general reading. Ooh, cut the deck. Okay. They're saying what was, is what is, and what will be. Okay, my dear, when I'm looking at what was, I see the Page of Cups, and I'm definitely getting the vibes of like butterflies in your tummy. type of feeling, that first excitement of potential romantic connection, the innocence of that connection early on, the just kind of like, not in a negative way, but like the naivete about who this other person is and what your potential connection could be to one another. There's this very sweet and softness that comes with this type of connection. But it's interesting because that's in the what was, which leads us to what is, which is the world, which is, they're like, this is more about you than about anyone else. This is more about you and your beliefs, your understanding about what love is, what love can be. It's very sweet and tender and like childlike, innocent, and not in like a negative, like, oh, you don't know anything kind of way, but in like wonder. There's so much wonder. There isn't that jadedness that comes with just living life. Quite naturally it comes with living life. Where I see you now is the world. And what this is telling me is that you've developed a more holistic understanding of what romance, love, romantic connection is and can be. Like, yes, it's about affection and physical connection and those butterflies in your tummy, but it's also about being in community with one another, being in partnership with one another, moving through difficult times, celebrating through incredible times, being in the presence of each other through different stages of growth at different times, paying bills, dealing with, very earth realm, not so fun, mundane stuff. There's so much that comes to romantic partnership, and it feels like there's a greater awareness, but what there isn't is a loss of hope, right? It's not like we moved from the innocence of the Page of Cups into the Tower. We moved into the innocence of the Page of Cups into the wisdom of the world, who still maintains that hope, that trust, that wonder. And that's quite lovely and lucky, blessed, to be honest, because even though life's experience has shown you that there's so much more to romantic connection than just being drawn to each other, it has not stopped you from believing that love is present and worth it and an important part of life. And I think that's quite lovely, personally. When I look at what's coming, what will be, I have the Eight of Cups, and it does feel like some of these I heard very clearly it's time to walk away. And I mean, this is the future, not the present. So the time isn't today. It's 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, tomorrow, I don't know. But it feels like there is an exercise in sovereignty that is arriving in your life. An exercise in self-agency that is presenting itself in your life in the near future. And you're going to have to look at all these cups that you've accumulated over time, all of this investment in ideas and beliefs and emotions, and say, I think it's time for me to move on. I think it's time for me to move on. What's interesting, though, is on the bottom of the deck, I see the Six of Cups, and it does feel like it's giving me like first love, and a part of me wonders if there's still, if like you're not together with your first love, if there's still like a longing or a heartache. Sometimes heartache and longing go hand in hand around this person who was a first love. Sometimes we're not even in relationships with our first love. We're in situationships or like admiration from afar, and that's okay. Like, is what it is. But I do feel like you're arriving at a point where you're like, I gotta release this. I gotta let that go. Because it's disruptive to my desire to find partnership that is aligned and right for me. I do think spending some time, perhaps like journaling or even doing some trance work or meditation work, will be helpful in identifying what this thing is that it's time to let go of. What that experience is that still is having influence over the present that needs to be released. And TBH, like, I don't even know that it was necessarily like bad. It's just done. And I think it's natural to still have feelings for people who were a big part of your life at a different chapter of it. But also sometimes that nostalgia, rather than being this really inspiring thing or comforting thing, can be a distracting thing. So that's what your good spirits are offering to you. Your dad, yeah. Dad is a lot of our first love, huh? Okay, let's see. I feel like I missed someone, so I just want to look through my list again really quickly. Paulette, will you just remind me which donation is yours? I can't remember. I just want to match everybody up so I can keep track. Punker Mama. I see you. I saw you. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Punker Mama, would love a spirit guide introduction. Yeah, absolutely. Do I deal it or cut the deck? Shuffle again. Okay. And I think after Punker Mama, I might call it for today because I'm a little bit hungry. So if I didn't get to you, I will send you your donation back because I'm really hungry. Gotta eat. These cards shuffle. Okay. Bernadette. There's a guide coming through for you named Bernadette. She's very, she's kind of quiet, but she has a very oracular nature. Like, maybe she doesn't say too much, but it's because she's deeply psychic and like receives so much information this way. I almost feel like she communicates with you telepathically, and it's less about hearing her words and more just about like a knowing, a sudden knowing, that like claircognizance, which is often like the most difficult thing to trust, because you're like, how do I just know this? But that seems to be the way that she communicates with you most frequently. I see her praying, and I also see her in like isolation at some point. She's a saint. Saint Bernadette. I was the best dancer at Saint Bernadette's. I think she is a saint. She is one of your guides, and I don't know if it is or isn't Saint Bernadette, TBH. I don't remember her lore. She is not your main guide, but probably the one that's around you most, that you sense most often, whose communication you receive the most clearly and the most frequently. She's very like modest, like modest, like simple. You know, like there isn't a lot of extravagant dress happening. She's very like simple. She doesn't need a lot. She says she's here to help you trust your judgment. Here to help you sharpen your discernment. She talks about how you've had some experiences in the past with people that you felt like you could trust, you could open up to, you could be vulnerable with. And those people were not that. They were not that. And it feels like you took a lot of the blame for whatever it is that happened. And your spirits are like, sometimes we just make the wrong friends, okay? And like, that typically happens when we aren't I feel like we tend to make friends that aren't right for us when we're in a place where we're not actively listening to our intuition. We aren't actively cultivating our spiritual foundations, caring for our spiritual hygiene, or when just like we just really want someone to get us, to spend time with us, to be our friend, and we open up ourselves to folks who are willing to give us attention but perhaps aren't the most well matched or well suited for us. And it feels like that's what happened. And she's really here to help you cultivate your discernment, your relationship with your discernment, so you feel more comfortable putting yourself out there again and finding your people, finding your community, finding your friends, finding spaces where you know you belong and that it's safe to be who you are around those other folks. You're very psychic too. But again, it's like this knowing, which I feel like we are the most resistant to trust. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. How am I supposed to believe that I just know things? You do. You just do. And I think when it comes to like your psychic knowing versus your anxiety, it feels like your anxiety rests right here. Like I see your chest kind of like flushing and getting warm. That's where your anxiety hangs out. But it feels like your intuition rests here. Like just this clarity in your mind of, I know this thing. And your guide Bernadette is really going to help you strengthen your trust with and relationship with your ability to like know things, to know when it is worth your while to invest in other people and build relationships with them, to know when it's worth taking the risk to invest in other people and build relationships with them, because she doesn't want you to feel like you have to go through this life alone. You know, there are people who care for you, but I feel like a part of you wants more, and she's really here to help you figure out what that more is, and by developing a stronger relationship to your intuition. That's it. Okay. That's it. Thank you, Punkar Mama. Thank you everyone for joining. If I didn't get to you today, I will send you your donation back, however it is that you sent it. So just keep your eyes peeled. Our next Flash Friday will be in October. We're just going to do one in October. And of course, if you love receiving readings from me and would like to have that support on a more consistent basis, you can join Moon Shadows. We do it twice a month, every month. And I'm also here in the Discord and in our other events to help you with all of your spiritual development questions in the time in between. All right, everyone, it is in love that I received you and your spirits in this circle. And it is in love that I return your energy and your spirits to you now.